celebrating boredom.
Boredom?
We're celebrating boredom. You're from the HP NonStop division, and when things are working well, it's really boring. And so boredom is your objective.
You know, that's exactly right. It's a great way to put it. I hadn't thought about it that way, but if we're doing our job right, nobody notices us. We're like the football official that has the great game and two teams play and they say they walked off and called a great game. If we're doing our job, things just run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week around the clock.
Well, what's new at HP Discover in the NonStop world?
Well, it's an exciting time for the NonStop world, and one of the things, we just had our technical boot camp about a month ago in San Jose. We had the whole community there together and talked about some new strategy things as well as a new product introduction for us. So in the last month or so, we've been talking to our customers and just released our latest and greatest blade server for NonStop. So that's got 50% more performance, goes in the same chassis, and for customers that are expanding, and boy, transaction volumes are going through the roof. You look at credit cards and everything else that's happening. So they're excited because the price performance gets better, footprint goes down, all of that. That's in our Integrity NonStop line. We also introduced the strategy that says we're moving NonStop into the x86 architecture as well. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, they're going to get a choice of which family they want to be in, how do they leverage that in their converged data centers, and the cool part is it's the same software, the same applications. There's no change to their software ecosystem, just get a different choice of hardware platforms.
So if someone were in the financial services business, what would be a typical application that NonStop would help them to guarantee their business results?
Oh, so in the financial services space, the primary one you see all the time is payments. If you make a credit card payment, a debit card payment, a point of sale transaction, anything like that, 80% chance it's going to go through a NonStop, either when it's acquired, when it's authorized, or on both ends. We love it when it's both ends.
Exactly. Well, what about from a manufacturing point of view, the supply chain, the timing that has to be coordinated across a global supply chain?
Well, and you look at that, and manufacturing's got all these different components. So you've got supply chain elements of it. So great example, we have a customer based in Japan actually that runs, believe it or not, a bakery. They ship 18 million items a day, baked goods, and at the end of the day, if they aren't in the right place, they're useless. You can't sell them, they're day-old bread and nobody wants them.
Not as bad as airline seats, but pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
So you look at that and they say, I've got to know what to bake, where the orders are, what goes on which trucks, and they've got to get there, and they've got to all get there in time, and every single day you do it again, and making that, and it goes from that. Other manufacturers, you look at car manufacturers running their whole manufacturing execution system, that if they can't take an order, get the right materials, put the cars together and ship them to the right dealers, those factories run 24/7, and more people are ordering customized cars that you want to get exactly the color you want, exactly what it is that allows you to go buy, and you'll pay for that.
Right, and it's almost approaching a retail fashion industry, which is another great application for NonStop.
It is, actually. That's one of my favorite ones, because one of our customers has gone on record, and we may have them longer than that. If they're out there, they'll come and tell us, I'm sure. A company called Bon-Ton Stores, which in the U.S. is kind of the northern plains states, and they run a whole different set of retail stores, Bon-Ton and Carson Peary Scott and a variety of brands. Their merchandising, point of sale, store management applications have been running on NonStop, available to their customers, available to their users in the stores with no downtime for 27 years.
Wow.
So good or bad news, that's when I started in the industry. And you know, they've changed applications, they've changed software, they've changed hardware, they've grown and through time, but system availability, software availability, best business practices, they've been able to keep that application to the user NonStop for 27 years.
Is it a catastrophic event that drives people to make the NonStop investment, or is it good planning that allows them to do that?
It's actually just the opposite for most of them. In some cases you say, oh my goodness, we had a catastrophic failure and we do that. For the most part, people are finding out that always on is critical to their business. And you look at it over time, we're getting into the Christmas season, right? You and I are both going to do all of our Christmas shopping on the 24th of December like every other male in the universe, right? We don't want to go there and find out you can't take a credit card payment and pay for things. The expectation as we've gone into that environment has gone through the roof. Think about it now. We carry a mobile phone everywhere. We expect that to get access to data. Tell a story. These halls here are miles apart. As I arrived here the other day, I got an email that said, my electric bill is due. While I'm walking from hall to hall, logged onto my banking site, paid the electric bill, confirmed the payment, and got a confirmation back in between two meetings.
And, oh, by the way, you were also able to reset the thermostat at your home because you forgot to do that when you left.
You know, absolutely. We have a Nest thermostat in all the different houses, and we're able to turn those things on. Actually, I'll tell you a great story. I have a house up in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and that technology, that Nest thermostat, was trying to heat the house, and the temperature in the house was dropping. Called the heating guy and had him go over and look. He said, yep, you had a frozen pipe. The technology in that case, and the fact that that was always on, allowed me to go not have burst pipes throughout the vacation house that was there.
I think that's one of the things that, as I was kind of going through the list, reviewing the list of applications, I had not thought about the fact that once you go to LTE, this fourth generation cellular service, now our expectations have been kicked to the next level.
That's exactly it. I mean, we run 400 million subscribers handling mobile phones around the world. 100% of the largest telcos around the world run on us for 3G, 4G, LTE kinds of solutions. And you start to look at this and you just plain expect that you are always connected, always on, you always have access to your data, and there's a change in your lifestyle. When's the last time you looked at a phone book? When's the last time you looked at a real road map? Right? All of those things, we go around and we just expect access to our data. By the way, we expect it to be correct as well. So you say, if I'm in a hospital and a doctor is moving from a hard copy chart into carrying around a tablet form factor for the chart, he needs it to be there, and he needs to know the data is accurate at the same time.
Absolutely, and that was the final application they had on the list of healthcare initiatives. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
you absolutely need that nonstop reliability.
Well, and that's it. You think about healthcare, you think about emergency response services, all those things. You need to be able to respond to all of those at once. And one of the things we're seeing, the reason this nonstop stuff is so cool, and moving into the x86, the converged infrastructure piece of it, applications used to be built monolithically, right? When I started in this business, an application and a system and a server were all tightly tied together. Now you think about this, I mean, huge retail customer, they're actually a customer of ours and wanting to buy a refrigerator from this company. And you go in and they've got a PO screen that's there, and you can say, well, what are my specs? What do I need to go do? Okay, I can look it up right online. Here's the ones that'll fit in your space.
Right.
And here's the colors they come in. Oh, you want to finance it? We can pull the credit card data right in. You want to schedule a delivery? That's a click, and it all comes in. By the way, you want to compare and contrast that with the other choices, check inventory to see when it will be available, all in real time right at the counter. Now the fun part about this was talking to the guy selling the refrigerator. I said, so you realize all the stuff you're using to sell me the refrigerator, you bought for me to run that. But it really is. All those applications are different. They're not all sitting on the nonstop, but the nonstop is kind of the orchestra director there.
Right.
And you look at it and you say, I'm bringing web data in. I'm bringing other applications in. I may be going to a third party to validate, your credit card, which is going to another nonstop somewhere else.
So, if people want to join us in celebrating boredom,
yes,
where can they go for more information at HP?
Right, so you go to www.hp.com/go/nonstop, right, and that gets you to all the cool information that's out there. And the fun part to me is it's not all about feeds and speeds and all those sorts of things. Yeah, that's all there. But what we talk about a lot is these use cases. Everything from payment systems to healthcare systems to car reservation systems, right? I mean, it's pretty cool now. You get off the plane and you get a text message that says, here's where my car is, and by the way, if you want to upgrade to the full size or the convertible, just send me a text back, and boom, there it is for you.
Exactly. Thanks so much for joining us, Randy, and thanks for you folks for joining us here as well on our continuing coverage of HP Discover in Barcelona.